Well, welcome to our next in a series of conversations from people who touch the cancer community in different ways. My name is Olivia Clark, and I'm the founder and president of Humor Beats Cancer. And we have with us today a physician's assistant, Tony Adkins. We've been longtime fans of Tony's Instagram posts, which just bring out so much joy and positivity and humor sometimes. And so we thought it'd be great to just kind of sit down with you, Tony, and kind of talk to you a little bit about you and your journey, and also kind of just where you get your humor and your joy from. And so I guess maybe to start, could you kind of talk a little bit about your career path and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, so my name is Tony Adkins. One of the physician assistants here at Children's Hospital of Orange County in Orange County, California, and I work in pediatric neurosurgery. So the main reason why I got into pediatrics, because when you're a little kid, kids they think of four jobs that they want to do or things that they want to do when they get older, when they become adults. It's either a teacher, firefighter, policeman, or a doctor. And so when I was a little kid, I always thought I'm going to be a doctor. so,
Mhm.
and my undergrad was in neuroscience. So I always loved the brain because it just fascinated me. And when I got out of PA school, and this job basically fell into my lap. And it's been the best thing since sliced bread. And I don't even know when sliced bread was created, but it's been the best thing because I get to touch these little people's lives as well as connect with the families, and being able to connect with some of the darkest times of a parent, seeing a neurosurgeon for brain tumor, traumatic brain injury, or brand new baby that's just about to come out, and we find things on fetal ultrasound. So these are the times where I get to shine my light and be able to touch individuals in the way that I like to be touched if I was in their same situation. So every time I'm approaching a case or an individual and their whole family as a unit, I think back to how will I want to be received this type of information, and that is where I come from. Is my mom always taught me to treat people like how you want to be treated, and that's exactly how I do it every single day.
That's amazing. I mean, so many of our viewers are in that dark spot that you're talking about and kind of dealing with cancer. How do you keep an upbeat attitude when I'm sure you're around a lot of really tough times? Where do you find that your personal joy and positivity?
Yeah, it's really tough, for healthcare providers. And over the last year, it's been really tough for us, and other people see how it's been kind of tough for us. Before that, not really people kind of know that we go through a lot of different things, same as patients. And we see a lot of different things that an average individual doesn't get to see. And so we have to always replenish ourselves, because every day we have to fill our cups up. And the way that I fill my cup up is either going to the gym, working out, um, hanging out with my two daughters,
Mhm.
watching TV with my wife, things that kind of get me and put me back to the state where I can replenish my cup and be able to give it out in the morning. And all the other things that I do, I love music and dance. And so if you see me on social media, you know that I love to have a good time. And that's just a 1% portion of what I do, is just being able to see my kids laugh and interact with me, and seeing the mom and the dad kind of looking at the things that we're making on social media, and it brightens my day. And I get to go back to it and look at it all the time. So it
Mhm.
kind of keeps me going. And other healthcare providers, they do different things, because we see a lot of things, like I said, that uh, it's hard. we get so attached to our patients, and then we know that they may not make it, but we get so attached. And for me, I get really attached, and I don't know how to turn it off. So, and I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to know how to turn it off, because
Right,
then I won't
right.
be human anymore. So I
Mm-hmm.
get attached, and so every time I lose a patient, a little part of me goes with it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, unfortunately, that's something that's been passed down from my mom and from my mom's mom. And so, it's
Mm-hmm.
something that is our curse of, caring so much.
No, I can only imagine. I mean, well, you mentioned your social media. Let's talk a little bit about
Mhm,
that. I mean, because that's how
mhm,
I discovered you. And I mean, it is just as you describe it. I mean, for people who
mhm,
haven't checked you out, make sure you share your handle because it definitely brought joy to me. Talk a little bit about
mhm,
there's dancing on it. There's all kinds of
mhm.
stuff on there. Talk a little bit about what made you to start to use social media in this way, and what kind of a response have you gotten?
So it's been majority of it has been all positive. When I first started, I got a lot of mixed messages of why no healthcare provider should be dancing with their patients, no healthcare provider, people should be serious with their patients. And then I got others, it was like, I was about to go through surgery. I'm about to go through surgery, and I looked at one of your videos, and it relaxed me.
Mm-hmm.
Others are like, I'm sitting here on my third trial of chemotherapy, and I'm looking at your videos, and it's just uplifting my spirit. So those are the ones that really touch me. You get a lot of individuals that love the things that I do, and I don't do it just because I do it primarily for the kids that I'm taking care of. And then after that, it's for those that are going through things to try to uplift them, because I usually try to put in an uplifting quote in there with it, to bring up somebody that it may be crying out for help for any reason, because
Mm-hmm.
we are, as humans, sometimes we need, or majority of the time we need those uplifting quotes, because we all have bad days, and
Mm-hmm.
we need somebody to kind of push us. And sometimes we don't have those cheerleaders in our corner pushing us along. But if you read a good book or you read a good quote, that can push you to the next stage of just happiness for that day. And so what those videos do to me is like a therapy session for myself,
Mm-hmm.
because the things that
Yeah.
I go through. So it helps me continue to be human.
No, I mean, it definitely resonates with me and with others that are part of our Human Beats Cancer community. It definitely is something that we're trying to do too, is just really kind of be there for people and uplift them as you described.
Mhm,
So you said you like to dance. What something we always talk about is music, and
mhm,
what kind of tunes we lean on when we need to be inspired, or so are there any songs that you kind of go to when you need to get pumped up, or you need to be you're having a bad day and you got to turn
mhm.
that around? Are there any certain musicians or songs that you really like?
Yeah. So right now, you're going through a lot of different things, as far as changes all over the place. So for me, is gospel music. I love
Mm-hmm.
gospel music, and
Yeah.
so it really, some of it really speaks to your heart, and some of it really, take the Bible verses and put them in a good song. And those like really lift me up before I get out of the car on my way to work. And I say a little prayer my mom gave me before I get out the car every morning, just to make sure that I'm covered and I'm able and willing to continue to do the things that I do, and all these good things. And it's the best thing, that my mom has given to me. Well, she's given me a lot of things, but she gave me that just recently.
Can you
And
can you share it? Can you share this, sir?
it's yeah, it's on my social media page. I don't have the whole thing memorized, but I've said it probably like for the past 5 months straight.
Okay.
But I know it goes along the lines of, just give me the strength, the wisdom, the courage to continue to do the things that you want me to do, as well as take care of your people. Give me the proper thought to increase my ideas, to increase your kingdom. It's a bunch of different things. So if
Yeah.
you go on my social media page,
Okay,
T
I'll find it
underscore
and I'll
Malone
share it with
three.
everybody. Yeah, yeah, I'll
Yes.
find it. That's awesome, though. I mean, because that's a wonderful way to start the day, and for what I'm sure is quite the challenging day every day.
Yes. Yes.
So to kind of put you on the spot, Sue, since we are about humor, are there any
Mhm.
funny stories that come to mind from your time,
Mm.
in doing what you're doing? Any kind of funny stories from in being in the medical field?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, a lot of them. But kids are very honest. They're very honest. So
Yeah.
I remember I was after lunch one day and I went to go see a little one in the ER. And I was like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Tony. I'm here taking care of you." And then he just looks at me and said, "Your breath stinks." I was like, "Oh,
Oh no.
okay."
You're like,
I
awesome.
was, I was like, "All right, sorry."
Oh my God, kids are the
so,
best.
so now I wear, so since we wear masks, we don't have to
Yeah.
smell each other.
Oh my God, the stuff kids say to people. Oh man, we
Yes,
enjoy
that
sharing those stories. They're the best.
yeah, that kind of broke me up in my regular routine that I was saying. I just started laughing. I couldn't say anything else.
You're like,
But yeah, no,
thanks.
yeah. So you get a lot of kids, and I love taking care of kids because they're so honest, and they will tell you if they like you, and they'll tell you if they don't like you, and and
Yeah.
that's the best part of taking care of kids.
No, I can only imagine.
Hmm.
So, what advice do you have for people, for us who are patients?
Hmm.
What makes a good patient? And what's the when you think of, oh, that person was awesome to work with and to help with, what are the characteristics?
Yeah. So um, kids being kids, that's always easy. But I work in the ER across the street at St. Joseph Hospital on the weekends. So I work with a lot of adults, and just being, we have some adults that come in and sometimes they're upset, and I don't know why they're upset, and I'm there to help. And so, we all have a bad day, and we have to make sure we are mindful of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Either it be the person that's cleaning the room, either it be the person that's valeting your car. You always have to be mindful, and so it just being a patient is a good patient is the ones that ask a lot of questions and don't take what I say to be gold standard. So
Mm-hmm.
if you ask questions, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know from the front of chapter 1 all the way to the chapter 12. And the best patient is the most informed patient. At the same time, we have to be realistic on a lot of things that, us as providers are asking for patients, and patients asking for providers for patients. Because I can't tell you, okay, your weight is getting out of hand. I think you should stop eating red meat. You can't
Mm-hmm.
stop eating red meat because you're probably thinking about a burger right now. So it's just something we have to be more realistic,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of things that you know we're covered by our medical license, and so some things we just can't do, and some patients,
Mm-hmm.
because patients don't know the dynamic of the medical field and how sometimes we're looked under the gun a lot, and so we have to be kind of, and so I explain a lot of things to my patients as far as, I
Yeah.
can't do that because my medical license don't allow me to do that, and this is the reason why. So um and as far as being a PA, sometimes I get the really bad patients that don't want to see a PA. I only want to see the
Mhm.
doctor. I was like, okay, well, I'm telling you exactly what the doctor's telling you, so I'll go get the doctor. So there's a nice way to say it, and then there's a really nasty way to say it. And
Mhm.
majority of times I get the nasty way. And so
Mhm.
I have feelings too, but I have tough skin because I've been through a lot of stuff. I've been through
Mhm.
racism. I've been through people calling me out of my name. People don't want to see me, so they'll tell me straight to my face. So I can take it, but others may not take it. So if you don't want to see a physician assistant, you just tell them, I really prefer to see the doctor. No offense against you, but I really want to see them. And usually I tell people, you're going to see me first, then you'll see the doctor, and you're going to get
Mhm.
two for the price of one. And they start laughing. I'm like, oh. So those are the things are, being realistic with, the things that you want, and we being realistic, the things that we want to get from you. And, be mindful when you are, being upset at one of us, because we're trying our hardest.
Mhm.
Some of us are burnt to the core. Some of the
Mhm.
nurses, they get short staff, and then it's hard for them to get to your room fast enough. And it's a whole business organization within certain hospitals that kind of make nurses 5 to 1 patients, and then that puts the patients at risk, and that's not
Mhm.
fair for them. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. No, that's good advice. No,
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm,
because you're right. It is a situation where we're like only thinking about ourselves sometimes, and
mhm.
and that's just not how we should be, you know.
Yeah.
And so, well, one thing we talk about is using humor as a coping tool.
Mhm.
How have you seen the power of humor in your life? Um, how important has it been to you, to get through things?
Yeah, it's been very important. The comedians within African Americans have risen because of things that were negative to them. So they basically laugh their way through their problems. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I do it. I laugh my way through my problems. So I use humor as a form to, when I'm about to start talking to people
Mm-hmm.
in a big crowd, if I can get people to laugh, it makes me comfortable. So when I was on Good Morning America, I was so nervous because I
I
knew it was
can
going to
only
be
imagine.
millions of
Mm-hmm.
people watching it, including my mom. So I was like, and my family was there too. So they're sitting in the audience. So I I was so nervous. I was supposed to go behind the desk. I went in front of the desk after I come in. I was like, oh my God. So these are things, but I was able to get people to laugh. And once I got people to laugh, then it just kind of loosened me up, because I'm
Yeah.
nervous all the time when I go talk. I was nervous to talk here to you today, but as
Oh my
long as
gosh.
I get people to laugh, then it kind of breaks the ice for me. And humor. I just was with a patient that she has terminal cancer, brain cancer, but I commented on her. I was like, "Wow, you're dressing like you're pretty warm," and I'm in short sleeves, and she had on a jacket, a beanie, a scarf. I was like, "Whoa!" And so she started laughing. So we were laughing. I was like, "Oh my goodness, you're too hot and too cold to hold." so so and those are the things that I try to get my patients, that to get them to laugh and to enjoy their experience with me.
No, I think that's wonderful. I mean, you can just tell, I mean, just from, you talking, that you really care about what you're doing and really are, try to be there for people. And I think that's wonderful. And I think that's why we try to, at Human Beast Cancer too, like really celebrate, everybody in the medical profession, because it's, we obviously, many of us wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for all of you. So, thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
no problem, no problem. Well, so that's all the questions I have. But is there anything you want to add, or anything I didn't ask you? Anything you want to put out there?
There's a motto that I live by every day. There's a little quote I have on the end of my emails, and it's from Irma Ballback, and
Mm-hmm.
it states that At the end of my life, I hope that I not have a single bit of talent left. And when I pass away and I see you, I can say I used everything you gave me.
Yeah, that's great. That's beautiful. And I think that's a great way to end this. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with
It's
us.
more than a pleasure.
Oh no, I think that all of our whole Humor Beats Cancer community will really enjoy hearing what you had to say,
Oh,
and we'll make sure to share your handle, and we'll make sure people follow you as well, so they can keep hearing from you and in your positivity. So thanks so much.
thank you for having me. It's such an opportunity.
Oh, no problem.